Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I was just trying to get this set up for my grandfather. Uh, he was unable to do it on his iPhone, so I just let him use mine. But I wanted to make sure, like, if there's incoming calls, does he just decline them? Because I want to make sure he's here for the whole time.
Yes, yeah, he can just decline them.
Okay.
And one thing we will be doing is going into breakout rooms later on. And so you'll see a pop-up that'll ask you to join the breakout room. And so you can go ahead and just click join. Or you can always stay in the main room with us and we can answer any questions then.
Okay, yeah, I just need to run to the corner store real quick and do something. So hopefully he should be good for that time. But I just wanted to make sure that everything was good. I wanted to set this up for him because he wasn't able to on his phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And we're going to go ahead and get started in just a couple minutes. We're just letting a few more community members sign in.
Okay, yeah, I know it was a little difficult for like us and even me. So yeah, if anyone well, obviously if anyone needs help, I'll be here back. I'm about to leave. But no, it was a little I had to go on the Facebook page and do all of that, but we got it.
Good. Well, we're happy to have you here.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I like to see how Brett called. Just hit.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. And as our community members join, we can catch them up on anything they might miss in our breakout rooms. And so we wanted to say thank you so much for being here today. My name is Sarah O'Brien, and I work with the Bond Communications team. Before we get started, we wanted to let everyone know that we do have Spanish interpretation available. And so we'll go ahead now and explain in Spanish how to access that interpretation. Bianca, are you able to explain that interpretation? No. Carla, would you be able to help us out there?
Yes, I can. Para aquellos que necesitan interpretación en español, nosotros vamos a tener una plataforma aquí en el Zoom donde usted va a haber un icono que es como un globo que dice interpretación. Si usted haga clic a ese icono, va a poder escuchar la interpretación en español. Gracias.
All right. Thank you, Carla. So on the screen, you'll see our agenda for today. The purpose for today's meeting is really to provide you some information about the LASA move to the Johnston campus and the plans for any memorabilia. And then, but more importantly, we're really here to listen. And so we'll be taking lots of notes and recording any questions that come in. We have a great team with us today to help us go over all the information. And after we provide some more information, we'll go ahead and jump into breakout rooms so that you can tell us about your memories and ask any questions. Our goal today is to really hear and record those questions so that we can collect the information and come back with answers at a following meeting. But in the meantime, if you do have any immediate questions, you can always reach out to us at future@austinisd.org or by calling 512-414-9595, and we'll put all that contact information up towards the end of the presentation. And with that, I'd like to introduce the team members we have with us today. We have Miguel Garcia, who is the Eastside Memorial Early College High School principal. We have Stacia Krasinski, who is the LASA principal. Allison Binford, who's with Perkins and Will, the architects working on both projects. Juan Hasso, the project manager, and of course our LASA students and staff that are going to help facilitate the breakout rooms. Before I turn it over to Miguel, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the new Eastside and give a little background on the project. As part of the 2017 bond program, a new school for Eastside Memorial Early College High School and International High School is being built at the original L.C. Anderson campus. that's located at 900 Thompson Street. The new school is on track to open for students this coming fall. And with the East Side Memorial and International students moving out of their current campus, that allows room for LASA to move in, which then in turn allows the LBJ Early College High School to take over the full building. LBJ Early College High School is also undergoing a modernization as part of the bond project. And while the Johnston campus is not undergoing a modernization, there will be some construction to accommodate the larger LASA student body. And Allison and Juan are going to talk about that in a little bit. So through this bond program, all 3 high schools are going to receive sites that are really the right size for their student bodies. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Garcia so that he can tell us a little bit more about Eastside.
Very cool. Thank you, Sarah. I'm Miguel Garcia. I'm the proud principal of Eastside Memorial Early College High School. I want to thank Ms. Krasensi for having me here this afternoon. And then just also thank the Johnston Terrace community. You've been great neighbors and partners the last several years. We will miss being in the neighborhood. Like Sarah just said earlier, we are part of the 2017 bond process where, you know, the Travis County voters approved a $1 billion bond. With that, including a modernized building for Eastside and International High School, where it would prepare students for the 21st century workspaces, allowing them to be collaborators in their learning and upgraded technology to meet their goals. We are located across the ACC Eastview campus, allowing easier accessibility for our students to participate in dual credit courses, and the opportunity for students to earn an associate's degree before they earn their high school diploma through our early college high school program. The new campus will also offer a multi-purpose center to celebrate and honor the original L.C. Anderson alumni community, and also offering a true community space for the new neighborhood that we're moving into if needed. Many thanks to ACOM, Gary Verlinden, Juan, who's going to speak in a little bit, also Perkins and Will for keeping the project on time. Hopefully, and as of right now, we are set to welcome students for the 2021 fall semester. So thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Also, our CAT committee that included Eastside Memorial International High School staff and administration, the original L.C. Anderson was a part of that too. That we had parents, students, teachers, community members that have been involved in all aspects of the project, from, you know, designing or choosing classroom layouts, working on security features and our outdoor learning spaces. At this point, I want to introduce Perkins and Will and Allison Binford. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Mr. Garcia. I'm Allison Binford with Perkins and Will, the architects on the project to create the new Eastside International Campus, as well as renovate the existing Eastside campus for the LASA move. So you're seeing here in these photos, construction progress at the new Eastside International Campus. To the left side of the screen is the existing Yellow Jacket Stadium, which will remain in place and continue to serve the community and the campus. And then at the top of the hill there is our new facility for Eastside and International. On the left view, you're seeing the 4-story learning neighborhood classroom wing that has the studio classrooms, the science labs, collaboration spaces, small group spaces, and CTE programs. To the right side of that tall portion of the building is the gymnasium area and sort of the darker gray. So you'll see they're working currently on completing brick and window installation on the exterior of those buildings. The mechanical units are all going into place on the roof. And so we're really getting close on the outside of the building. Next, you'll start seeing some interior work happening, a little less visible, but also some site work to put in place the parking lot. And then in the the second view on the right, you'll see there's space between the two buildings. That will be an outdoor courtyard, outdoor learning space, as well as areas for gardens and other activities to take place in the outdoor areas of the school. In that right view, you're seeing the front side of campus looking from Thompson Street, and the orangish red building is a recreation of the original L.C. Anderson High School building, which was originally on this site. We did salvage some of the brick and glass block from that original building, and we're able to recreate a portion of that. And that front part of the building will house the fine art spaces, the library, the cafeteria, as well as those community rooms that Principal Garcia was mentioning.
Right. Thank you, Allison. And with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to Stacia, our LASA principal.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before I talk a little bit about who LASA is, I really wanted to mention how honored I am that my school will be joining this space that has not only welcomed and been sort of a second home to teenagers for over 60 years, but really a space with a vibrant tradition of striving for academic excellence and community activism. And I think my biggest hope coming into this space is that my students will pick up the torch and sort of continue that legacy that 60 years of teenagers have already put in place. So after this, we want to get to know you a little bit better and hear more from you. So here's a little bit about us. So LASA is a comprehensive 9 through 12 high school. We're the academic magnet for the Austin Independent School District, and any student who lives within the boundaries of AISD is welcome to apply. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of which Johnston's a part. So in the mid-1980s, the business community came together and they asked AISD for a magnet high school that really focused on STEM education. Industries such as IBM, Tracor, TI, they were really struggling to find Austinites to take their tech jobs. And they were hoping that a magnet high school focused on STEM would help that. And so the Science Academy was created, and it was at the LBJ campus, and it started in 1985. And then in 1988, the Liberal Arts Academy started, and that was at Johnston High School. Some of you may remember that. And it was made to be a complement to the Science Academy. And Ms. Aguayo Tabor, who's with us today and is taught at the LAA and currently still teaches for LASA, really talked about the goal was to connect the humanities to real life in an organic way. In 2002, AISD decided to put the two magnets together on the LBJ campus. And so the LAA and the SA became LASA, that Liberal Arts and Science Academy. And one thing you may not know is back when that was done in 2002, that made LASA the first and only at that time magnet high school in the United States that was advanced academics for all subjects. Typically in the early 2000s and before that, magnet high schools were either STEM schools, fine arts schools, humanities schools, but we were the first that really was all-encompassing and offered students advanced academics in all classes. The reason, and then in 2007, LASA separated physically from LBJ, though we stayed in the same building, and we continued to participate together in UIL activities such as fine arts and athletics. And the reason that split happened is because AISD wanted LBJ to get a grant from the Gates Foundation. It was a $2 million, just over $2 million grant. And the Gates Foundation is the one that required us to separate not just academically with classes, but physically as well. So let's talk a little bit about LASA today. So the 2017 bond, as you heard earlier, is going to allow LBJ Early College High School really to reinvent this space to meet the needs of its students, particularly programmatically, so it can build and grow programmatically. We've just together been grown too big for the space. And so LASA moving to Johnston will allow us to both grow in total student population as well as programmatically as well. And we're excited to join the Johnston Terrace neighborhood. So for the 21-22 school year next year, we're projected to have 1,300 students. Approximately 500 to 600 students apply every year. And for this application season, we did receive applications from students in every AISD middle school, which was very exciting. All the courses that we offer are advanced, and our emphasis is students earning college credit through advanced placement tests. We also offer specialized courses that students are required to take at the 9th and 10th grade levels. And these courses allow students, since they come from middle schools all across the city, to be able to have a standard skill set. So everybody has the opportunity to take the 11th and 12th grade classes. And I think now I'm passing it to Juan and Allison to talk a little bit about the construction that's going to happen.
Yeah, thank you so much. So you're seeing here a view of some modifications we'll be making to the front entry to the building to create a secure vestibule for all visitors entering the building, as well as new signage and freshening up that face of the building to help welcome students and faculty to their new campus. For construction, the majority of the work happening to prepare the campus for LASA to move in will be on the interior of the building. So most of it will be inside work to the classrooms, science labs, and then some specialty spaces such as wood shop and metal shop, getting those spaces renovated and ready to work best for the LASA classes coming in. There will be a little bit of outside exterior work on that front entry that I mentioned, as well as on the large parking lot to the north. So you may see or hear some construction vehicles and equipment coming in and out of the site. There will be construction fencing around the perimeter. And then so there may be some limited noise from that machinery during the daytime and some occasional, backup alarms or other general noise. But for the most part, the work will be on the interior and shouldn't be disruptive to the neighborhood. We don't expect there to be any utility shutoffs that would affect the neighborhood. They would be isolated to the campus site itself for when they need to shut off water or power to work on the interior of the building. And then Juan will touch on a couple other things that will be happening simultaneous to the renovation work this summer that you may notice around the neighborhood.
Thank you, Allison. Yeah, so there's going to be a simultaneous project ongoing in the month of June, and what's going to be replaced is mechanical equipment. It's all going to be generally inside of the building. There's going to be some cranes on site. We do not know yet the path that they will be taking, but we'll make sure to inform you all as we get more information. Another thing that I would like to add is that there's going to be abatement going on this month during spring break. It's going to be inside of the campus as well, just in a couple of classrooms. And that's going to be the first phase. We'll enter into a second phase of abatement, closer to construction, closer to the summer. And I'm sure that Sarah and the team will be able to inform later. Thanks.
Absolutely. And one of the other things we want to make sure we cover today are some of the plans for the memorabilia that is currently at the school and how that will be displayed moving forward. And so I know we have Stacia, Allison, Juan, everybody will be able to kind of chime in and tell us a little bit more about those plans.
Yeah, so I will just touch briefly on the view you're seeing here. So we were just highlighting some of the display areas that will happen throughout the campus. The majority of the current Johnston memorabilia will stay in a similar area to where it's at in the cafeteria with the display cases. We do have some additional display areas, some existing in the campus and some being added new that will help house the new LASA trophies and other items coming in, as well as offer some other locations to house some of the Johnston memorabilia in addition to that primary area in the cafeteria. So you see those highlighted throughout the floor plans in the corridors of the school.
And besides these sort of permanent displays, we're also hoping to have other displays in some of the academic areas, fine arts areas around the gym that are rotating displays that students can learn curation. And so that there's always new history that's being shown, so that as students go through the hallways, they get an opportunity to learn about the students that lived in the building before them. We really would like to envision the memorabilia as sort of a walking museum tour. So you can start in one part of the building and move through the building, and that way get to see the hallways that you were in as a teenager, peek into the classrooms that maybe that you remember living in when you attended Johnston. And at each display, the hope is to have QR codes that people can use their phones, click on, and we have interviews with alumni explaining what the memorabilia are and the importance that it has to them. And then alumni can use that as they're walking through, but my students can use that as well, so that they are constantly able to hear the voices of the people that came before them.
All right, thank you, Stacia. Juan, is there anything to add about some of the construction around some of those display cases?
No, I think Allison was able to cover it and Stacia was able to cover it. It's just going to be all interior work. And as Stacia mentioned, there will be additional display cases around the academic areas.
Great. Well, with that, we hope we really provided some helpful information, but a big part of today is listening to our alumni and our community members. We want to hear about your memories, about the things that you really loved about the school, and then also use this opportunity to ask any questions you have about the project. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and plan to break out into breakout groups. Our LASA students and staff are going to help us facilitate those. Today's really, as I mentioned before, all about listening. And so we'll be recording your questions and we'll be able to come back and provide answers at a future community meeting. But if there are any questions you have that you'd like to have answered sooner than that, you can always reach out to our team at future@austinisd.org. You can see that email listed here, but I'll say it again, it's future@austinisd.org. All right, and right before we break out into those rooms, Stacia, do you want to just kind of give us a quick overview of what we hope to get out of those breakout rooms?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. I think, so we have two sort of questions prepared, and our goal is to really get a sense of people's fondest memories and the traditions that they remember back on, and would hope that continue either in the same vein or are memorialized somehow on the campus. So we're going to ask about the traditions that you remember most fondly. And then we want to make sure, even though the name of the building is now LASA, that people really feel like they're welcome in the space, and that we have thought consciously about how people can interact with the space still. So we want to ask if there's a way you would like to stay involved with the space that you lived your high school years. And maybe we can work together to find ways to bring the alumni back, either as individuals or in large groups at events like homecoming. We really want to just be the next set of alumni in the space and not supplant anyone.
All right, thank you. So we'll go ahead and just take a moment to get everybody assigned to a breakout room. We'll be joining.
Now you're talking.
Oh, okay.
You click on it, you click.
Yes. Mute them.
All right, just give us one moment. Just making sure we get everybody assigned to a breakout room here.
We should be good to go.
Okay, great. Well, with that, you'll see a pop-up just to join a breakout room. right, and Carla, do we have a breakout room assigned for those that want to join Stacia to talk through some plans for the memorabilia?
For the
Stacia,
extras.
if you want, I can put you and the rest of the teachers in one room together, if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, well, and that way, if they have questions or ideas, we can at least get them down, and then I can cut them loose.
Okay.
But all the kids got in rooms this time?
Yes, I put all the kids in one room. So I don't think, I'm trying to see if I can add y'all. Unfortunately, it looks like I can't create one since I already created the rooms. However, y'all can use this space to kind of go over, I think, because I mean, we don't need to discuss anything further. So you can use the space for it.
And I will note, it looks like we have Felix in this main room with us. Felix, you're welcome to stay in our main room, but please let us know if you'd like to be assigned to one of the breakout rooms.
So for the staff I have, you are welcome to be done. But if you'd like to stay, like, I'd love to have ideas, particularly for any of the staff that were at Johnston. Remember people talking about, like, I know I talked with the students and staff earlier.
So they have 60 seconds to come back to the main room, Sarah. So just a heads up.
Hey, Carla, do you have a way to send a message to one of the breakout rooms?
I don't think that's a feature, unfortunately.
It's fine. Just one of the participants in that room wants to be a part of the CAC after we move, and so I want to make sure I get that name in
Okay.
case I can't find, like.
Do you want to ask them now? Just because I think everybody is about to join us. So
I can ask I will chat directly to one of the staff members that's running that room.
Okay, perfect.
And it looks like a lot of our breakout rooms are coming back into the main room. So we'll give everybody just a moment and then we'll wrap everything up. Carla, do we have all the breakout rooms back together?
Yes, so I think we have everyone back.
Okay. Well, we just wanted to say thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time out on a Saturday to learn more about the project and to tell us about your thoughts and your questions for the new for the Johnston campus. And so with that, I just wanted to reiterate that you can always find more information on these projects at aisdfuture.com. And then feel free to reach out to us at future@austinisd.org, or you can always call us at 512-414-9595. I know Stacia mentioned wanting to hear from our alumni and recording thoughts and memories. So we really hope you reach out so that we have your contact information. We'll continue to engage the alumni Facebook page as well. So, you know, this is an ongoing process. We want to keep everybody involved. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Stacia just to close us out.
I just want to reiterate what Sarah said, that, you know, whether we appreciate that you were able to attend today. We know there are thousands of alumni that weren't able to, but we really do want to learn from them. We want to know, you know, what their time in this space was like and what it meant to them, so that I can make sure with my students that they know that rich history, because I think it's really important that they have a sense of this space having already grown successful adults who went out and did wonderful things in their lives, from raising children to doing things in the business community to, you know, whatever. I just want to make sure that we remain in constant contact. So thank you very much for giving us your time today, and I look forward to getting to know you more in the future.
Thank you all for joining. And it looks like we did have a question in the chat. Oh, it looks like Ethan's going to follow up with Mr. Amaro about the Memorial Day ceremony. So Mr. Amaro, I know we have your contact information and we'll be sure to reach out.
Thank you, everyone. If Stacia, Sarah, Megan, and Brooke can stay on, that'd be great. Thank you.